Special shout out to the fine folks at Blizzard and their production team for putting together our map intros. They are oh so sexy and oh so fine. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Newkirk Precinct, the blue Protoss player, Invictus Gaming's Jim. I read on a TL post that someone said Jim looks like a Chinese version of Todd. I think that's really funny. Spawning in the bottom left, Jim's opponent, the Red Zerg. Some call him the Tyrant. We call him SC2 Jaedong.
Lots of Jaedong fans in the house, man.
One or two? One or two.
I'm a little bit worried if Jim wins, what's going to happen?
They'll all become Jim fans.
Yes, because that's how we roll.
That's how we roll. Gateway opening for Jim. It's a hatch first for Jaedong. I like that play out of him.
Switching it up once more, Ben. Jaedong lost to switch it up. I still thought this play... I guess he just really expected a 2-base robo play on the previous map on Neoplanet S, and that's why he played the way he did. Wow.
Okay, so hatch first is brave. Hatch first into hatch second. That's a little cray, Kev, and this is against a gateway opening. Yep. There are a couple of things Jim can do. One of them starts with just 4 gates.
But above all, Ben, we mentioned before as well, and perhaps Jaedong picked up on this, Jim does not scout early on. He checks his natural, that's about it. He makes a zealot, then he cancels it. So by the time that Jim is actually going to see what's going on, he wouldn't even be able to tell the difference.
Uh-oh, you might be right, Kev. That zealot is going to be canceled? Question mark? Yes, it is. Nexus is going to start? Yes, it is. And now it's going to be very hard for Jim to apply any sort of real pressure to Jaedong, and Jaedong can drone freely off these 3 hatcheries.
Jim might think like, hey, I'm getting through this opening phase without any issues. I don't have to worry about any Zerglings. I didn't lose anything. I'm playing kind of greedy, but he's playing nowhere near as greedy as Jaedong. And Jaedong is doing this really smart. Just shows that he's willing to adapt in the series and willing to play against his opponent and not just playing against Protoss.
That's what makes him such a champion, Kev. 10-time Star League champion in the Brood War era. And yet to receive his first Starcraft 2 title, but he's got a couple of second place finishes and is certainly one of the favorites to do well here in WCS America.
If he wins this round, Ben, it's going to be another semifinals appearance for Jaedong, and above all, it's going to be more and more WCS points for him as well. It must be good being Jaedong.
Triple queen for Jaedong. That's always a good feeling. As Jim still has done nothing to scout the map. He has no idea what he's playing against. I feel like he's going to be so sad when he finally realizes what's up. What do you do in that situation when you realize, oh man, he has got 3 bases and a lot of drones?
It is really hard. I think that Jim, above all, is just going to do what he already wanted to do. No matter what Jaedong does, I think Jim is just going to follow up with what he had in mind. He drops down the Stargate, even as part of his wall. I thought we might have going to see like that he's going to drop a Robo and get a Warp Prism and try to force field Jaedong out or something. It seems to be so popular on Newkirk. I've seen Jim do it several times as well, even in a couple of official games. But that's not going to be it. And Stargate play against such an economic opening from Zerg. Unless you follow it up with an all-in, I think it's going to be really hard to make that Stargate pay for itself.
It's going to make it that much harder for Jim. Jaedong doing all the normal stuff, getting his double gas going, getting his Roach Warren down for safety, but ultimately just building lots and lots and lots of drones. Jaedong probably saw that Stargate with those Zerglings.
But did he click on it?
That's the real question.
Kind of looks like a gateway, man.
It could. It could look like a gateway, but I'm sure he knows what's up. There's the layer. And still no actual combat units on the production tab for Jaedong. He's going to stop right here at 46 drones and wait a second.
Just like, let's see what's going on. This Stargate is actually not being used yet. That's kind of strange.
It's a fake?
No, it's definitely not a fake. It's definitely a real Stargate, man. Unless there was a recent patch that I've missed, but I'm pretty sure that the Stargate is real.
Yeah, finally Jim's going to start up a single Phoenix.
Took him a little while.
Jaedong's going to be like, oh yeah, looks like we're going Phoenix. It's cool.
Immediately more drones on production tab, might drop a couple of spores as well. He definitely has the drones to spare. I really like this position for Jaedong. Jim is actually not building. Okay, he's building probes now again. I was like, is he going to stop at 40?
He's also going out on the map. What are you doing there, Jim?
Zealous marching across the map and nuke.
Jaedong has no idea. He's still droning. The only thing he has are these 3 queens.
He can always just run around his drones a little bit. A couple of roaches are on the way right now, though, so that's going to make Jaedong's life a little bit easier. This is pretty annoying. It's also weird. I've never seen this. Like just a random 6 Zealot
walking
attack.
across the map unspotted. How does this happen? Hey, we're here for the party! The queen said you're not invited. Jim's like, whatever. As the Zealots will give chase, a single roach is going to pop out.
How confused do you think Jaedong is right now? Like, where did those come from? He's going to lose a handful of drones over here, using hold position pretty well, though. A lot of his drones are so low on HP. Jim should just right-click on them right now, rather than attack.
Really cute control from Jaedong. These Zealots are completely wigging out. Finally, Jim sees it, and he will right-click on a couple of these drones. But Kev, does it matter that much? Jaedong's got so many harvesters and so much larva.
Well, okay, he just popped 5 additional drones. He's still up to 57. It went reasonably well for Jim, though. I think a lot better than he could have hoped for. He has a couple of Phoenixes over here as well. There is a robotics facility on the way right now, Ben. But there's a lot of center. I guess he's just going to be a 2-base play. And he did slow Jaedong down quite a bit. Jaedong right now just starting his spore production. That means he's going to lose a few additional drones. Only 55. It's not as bad as we thought it was going to be for
58
Jaedong.
harvesters to 52 now, as Jim is still producing probes.
Picking up drones as well.
So 53 probes, got to have 55 probes.
Like, if those Hydras spawn 1 by 1 right now, you can easily pick those off, and it's actually quite painful for Jaedong to lose Hydras, because he's not that rich. But most of the energy has been spent on drones, so I guess he's in the clear for now. Actually, 56 pros. He's going to go up to 3 base, man.
Yeah.
Wow, Jim just surprising us, and might actually be a very good call right now, because Jaedong is so worried about the potential follow-up that he's still not making any drones. He's up to 57 right now. He's making more and more Hydralisks. Just now he's going back to drones, because his Overseer is going to fly in and is going to see that Nexus. And this is not the economy you want to have if you are Zerg and you're going to play against the 3-bus Protoss.
Yeah, crazily enough, we're at a
and Jim doing such a good job in switching up his playstyle as well. And that just, it must be a nightmare to play against the Protoss like this. Like, what was that Zealot attack? It was so good.
I could probably play 100 ladder games as Protoss and never do any damage with that Zealot attack.
If I do it, there are like 5 roaches and stand at the ramp and they scratch their head and they make a circle, they dance and then they kill my Zealot. Jim just making it work. Jaedong is going to drop. Well.
The Changeling's wild ride. Jim beginning to produce his first Colossi. Jaedong has a Spire down. I wonder if it'll be for Mutas. He has been switching into Mutas so much.
He lost it.
I guess in all of his play.
I guess it depends a lot on what Jim does with his Phoenixes. If Jim is going to be careless with them or just controls them and really reckless and he's going to fall down to only 3 or 2 Phoenixes, then he might go into Mutalisk. But I think for now, Jaedong is aware that the threat that Colossus are going to be a really scary thing to deal with. That's basically what it boils down to. So I think it's just right now for Corruptus.
Man, oh no! Single Phoenix getting picked off. A second Phoenix might go down. That's great for Jaedong. And suddenly, Kev, I'm thinking Mutas are more likely than ever before.
He has 1,000. He has 10,000 gas. Nope. Well, no, it's going to be Corruptus. 1,000 gas. Not
9 Corruptors on the way.
10,000 gas would be really good if you Zerg. That's 100 Mutas.
It wouldn't be the first time for Jaedong. He made at least half that many at one time, just a few days ago.
And now at least this push is going to be a little more scary, but still, he just doesn't have enough units on the ground, I feel. Even if he would be able to kill off the Colossus, well, he did snipe that Observer here. That was a nice little pick-off. There's going to be a couple of Voiders over here as well. We already have 2 of them. If the Voider count goes up to 4 or 5, the DPS gets too high to ignore them, and Corruptus is going to be forced to focus down the Voiders before they start focusing on the Colossus. But that also means that your Hydras are going to melt to the Colossus. Man, it's going to be really rough for Jaedong to make this work.
Pretty crazy army here out of Jim. Void Ray, Colossus, Zealot, Phoenix.
Jaedong up to 86 drones right now. He's doing a really good job in that, and he's starting to saturate his 4th base as well. So Jaedong at least has that economic lead once more. Very early photon overcharge, but rather too early than too late.
Yep. And Jaedong will, I guess, change gears a little bit. He's not going to actually attack right now, just repositioning.
A lot of money in the bank.
Jim gonna go ahead and wall off this 3rd base.
5th base going down now as well. I think an eventual Muta transition is more and more likely, but he cannot just do it. It's the same scenario as he had against us. As long as he sort of resets the Protoss army a little bit, like he doesn't have to crush the Protoss in the first fight he has, but he has to at least slow Protoss down. The Protoss is not gonna move out immediately, and that there is not too much anti-air left. Then he can switch into Mutas.
He's gonna do it
we
now.
have it once more, but Well, 17 is scary.
It's more than the Phoenixes can deal with. Now, now the one thing that Jim could do in this situation is just attack.
Hallucinated Phoenix. This could be
short-lived. Short-lived is the word you were looking for.
A very, very underwhelming scout is what I wanted to say.
And Jim is on the move right now. 19 mutas in the production tab. So,
but still, like I think right now Jim's army is so strong, man, that he might just cast a photon overcharge, warp in a few units, and just say like, all right, you can kill my probes, you can kill almost everything. I'm just gonna base trade you. What kind of bizarre scenario are we going to have over there?
Impossible to predict right now. A lot of mutas making their way across the map. Jim still seems unaware.
I don't think Jim is going to retreat, man.
I don't think he can retreat. The retreat is not an option
at
this point.
He has a recall. He could recall if he really wanted to, but I don't think he wants to. Don't lose Phoenixes, Jim.
One Phoenix does fall. Spinecrawlers, meanwhile, melting away. The mutas have been revealed, and Jim is not showing any plans of retreat. What is this Colossus doing? He's tap dancing on this building. The fourth base of Jaedong will fall, and a lot of Jim's units going to make their way up into the natural. Jim is splitting up his army a little bit.
Jim is kind of all over the place. I'm not sure what he wants to do.
Oh,
he recalled
half of his army.
Portion.
It's going to save the third base, at least sorta. I don't think he can kill those mutas, man. That's not enough anti-air.
He's going to have a photon overcharge. He wipes in a few additional stalkers.
Why recall the Colossi?
I actually am not sure about that. To headbutt the Corruptors.
You get back here. I can see you. So the natural of Jaedong falls. Jim is now making his way over to the third base. Jaedong is gonna retreat with everything. So what a bizarre turn of events.
Spinecrawlers are not ready yet.
Oh no, Kevin, this could be bad news. The hatchery is gonna take a ton of damage. The hatchery is gonna go down. It is gonna fall. So Jim has taken out 3 of Jaedong's mining expansions. He will lose this army.
Jaedong is still maxed out, man. Yes, Jim picked up that hatchery, but Jaedong, for some reason, he is still maxed out. And Jim is nowhere near maxed out.
Yeah, Jim traded a lot of units for a lot of infrastructure. Jaedong with just a single mining base is down to, well, not down to, still hovering at 61 drones. So as soon as he has new hatcheries, he'll be able to mine.
I love Jaedong's position right now. He has 32 Mutalisk out on the map. There is not a single Phoenix on the map. The Stargate went down. He's going to have to defend with Blink Stalkers. No. And we know how difficult it is to just defend with Blink Stalkers.
32 mutas will kill this Nexus before Photon Overcharge can kill one of them. Yes, indeed.
I really don't think that Jim's recall was the correct decision. That ended up in him losing half his army.
If he had killed every base, then maybe, but that's not the way it played out.
And he didn't even kill the drones.
And these Colossi are now pretty useless, as the only thing in Jaedong's army flies. I guess there are still 15 Hydras out, but
it's almost impossible to deal with this with just Blink Stalkers. We have seen people do it. +3s on the way, so at least there are good upgrades on these Stalkers, but still, it is so hard to not just lose pilots all the time, lose all of your probes. Once more, Jim is sending out the kind of a hit squad.
Oh man, this is a little bit crazy. If the mutas find this, it's just going to melt away. Stalkers are chasing the mutas, but they're going to get attacked by Zerglings. And this is not a fight that the Stalkers can win. They need to get out of there. There's the blink. They're going to retreat back to the third base.
And now Jim is caught
no, Jim!
Position.
This is not where you want to be if you're a Colossus. And Jaedong will crash into the army of Jim, and those Colossi are not long to this world. They will get a few volleys off on the Hydras, but it's not going to matter. Jaedong on top of the Stalkers, and the Protoss army melting away. This is going to be a good game.